Hey girl, hey. So, welcome back to Ashley Rants. This is Ash, and I am truly appreciative of you guys checking out my page. If you are new here, please subscribe. Please like and comment if you feel so inclined. And I love to have conversations. So, please, if you comment, I'm going to comment back and we're going to get this thing popping, right? Um, if you read my title for this page, for this video, rather, that you know that I am going to be talking about me and my booskies little love story. I think it's entertaining. I am amused every time I share it, and I hope that me sharing it with you guys today, you'll find some amusement in it. Um, this is going to be more of a rave than a rant, because anybody who know me know I love that man's dirty draws. I love that man down. Like, I love that man down. So it's definitely going to be a rave type situation. Um, so let's hop into it. October 6th, 2019. Got a date with this guy, this random guy, and I was not going to show up. Prior to that, I had been perpetually single. It feels like I have no concept of time, but it feels like it was about a good 10 years where I was perpetually single. And it got to the point where, and I was on all the dating sites, and my philosophy was, okay, okay, if I get on eHarmony or the sites that you need to pay for in order to really get a conversation going, I'm going to find somebody who's serious about a relationship. That's not the case. I joined eHarmony. I can't even remember the names of the apps no more. That's bananas. There was another one I paid for, but I can't remember. I joined Churchy Date, which I joined that in its infancy. I don't even know if it's still a thing, but Churchy Date was like, if y'all watch Kev on Stage, I think it stemmed from him and his group, but because I joined it so early on, it was not enough people. It wasn't enough people. And then the people that were there, they were like in big cities, and I live in Ohio. That's not going to work. I was on POF. That was my go-to. Um, Outside of POF, there were some other ones. I'm sorry. I don't remember the apps. I was never on Tinder though. I never got on the Tinder because I heard that that was literally just for hooking up, and that was not my goal. But I was on all the apps, and I had just downloaded Facebook Date. Facebook Date had just came out, and I'm like, let me download this, talking about see what it's talking about. Downloaded it, went on a date with a guy. He showed up to the restaurant an hour and a half late in pajama bottoms. And his trucking business that he told me he had, which I'm definitely not a gold digger, but I don't do lies. His trucking business that he told me he had was him driving his truck for Uber. Now, get in where you fit in. Get in where you fit in. I'm not judging you for driving Uber at all. What I am judging you for is telling me you have a trucking business. That, come on, man. So, so it was, I sat down with myself. I said, you know what, self? I'm done. I'm done. I recognize that being in a relationship is not for me. God has called me to be single. I am going to be the spinster auntie for the rest of my life. Uh, I resigned myself to this. It was wholly, I was done. And I had even gotten to the point, I knew I was almost done when I started going out with people just for food. Like, I would tell people, oh, I got a food date. I got a food date. Can't remember nothing about the guys. It was just me going out for food. I had rules that I had for every single online relationship. It was never hit me up, say, hey, let's go out, and we go out. No, we need to be talking for at least 2 to 3 to 4 weeks before I feel comfortable enough to give you my number, before I feel comfortable enough to go out with you. Because even though I grew up, all my dating pretty much came from online. I've never been able to go up to somebody in a bar and be like, hey, baby. That's never been me. It's, the idea of doing that just. So I had rules for myself because I grew up in a time where I came in on a time where online dating just started being a thing. And it was every week was a new 2020 episode about a girl who gets kidnapped. A girl who gets kidnapped by somebody she met online. And I remember one time when I was a kid, I was trying to I was like 12, 13, 14, whatever year the Degrassi, The Next Generation first came back. That week that when I did not know that show was coming out, nobody in my family knew that show was coming out. That week, I have had myself a little online boyfriend, which when you're a kid, an online boyfriend is you're texting, hey, how was your day? That was like the extent of it. And truth be told, dating now is pretty much the same thing, but it wasn't nothing to it. I knew I wasn't going to be able to go and visit him. There was no dates to be had or whatever. But my mom found out about it, and she's like, you can't be doing this. You can't give people your personal information. They know your name. And I'm like, it's not all that. It's not. Well, that Friday, we're all just sitting around in the living room, and I don't know why we were all in the living room watching TV together, because none of us watched the same thing. None of us watch the same thing. I'm the youngest in the family. So say I'm 12, then my other sister would be, my older sister would be 13, 12 or 13, because we're 11 months apart. Then my brother would have been 16, 17. And then my sister would have been 17, 18, 18, 19. My oldest sister would be 18, 19. And then my mom was there. I don't know where my dad was. So none of us, the only people who watch the same thing at the same time would be me and Rhonda, because me and my sister, because we're 11 months apart. We pretty much the same. That's our demographic. We got the same demographic. So we're flipping through channels, and we somehow end up on Degrassi, The Next Generation. I'm like, oh, she's young like me. Let's watch this. Maybe I was younger because I identified with Emma on that first episode. So maybe I was middle school. I don't know. But I know I was too young to be talking about I'm in love. So my mom was right in that aspect, but I wasn't doing nothing crazy. I promise you. So if anybody knows Degrassi, the first episode, Emma meets up with this online stranger. Emma meets up with this online stranger, and she almost get kidnapped, and her friends is the one who figures it out and gets her saved. Otherwise, this chick would have been sex trafficked, and I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. Well, we're gonna find out. This channel get taken down because I said those words. Otherwise, bad things could have happened to this chick. It could have been child porn and all this other stuff. So, but her friends came into play, and I'm like, and the whole time my mom. And I realized my mom is watching. I'm watching this because I'm entertained. I realized though my mom is watching it because she's trying to make sure I get the lesson. Online dating is bad. So, yeah. That was a little side quest on my story. So, but I've always dated online. I've not dating and meeting somebody and dating in person. I've asked one person out in person in my whole life. It did not end well. And that was enough to deter me from that. And I'm grateful because I'm so grateful that they said no, because otherwise I wouldn't be with Stefan. So I was done, and I was done with dating completely, and I was getting ready to delete all the apps, and I was literally logging on to Facebook Date to delete that app, the application from the Facebook. And I had a message in I guess in my phone at this time, that said something along the lines of, "Hey, do you want to go out?" And again, my rule is, no, I don't think it was that. I think it was, "Hey, what's your name?" Intro, and then it was immediately like, "Do you want to go out?" And mind you, my rule is we talk for a while, get to know each other for a while, and then we share phone numbers. We talk a little bit longer, and then we go out. But at this point, I'm done. So I'm like, what's the point? It is what it is. If I get kidnapped, I get kidnapped. Okay. I get a message and he asks, we do intros, and then he asked me out. And I'm like, okay, let's go. So I go. And the reason I'm bad with, I'm horrible with dates. But I remember this because it was it's the Sunday after the first Joker came out. And I had went to see the Joker I went to church, I went to see the Joker, and then I went out on this date. That was the order of services that day. So that's how I remember this date. So I go to, he tells me where he wants to meet up at, and it's this place in Dayton, Ohio. It was like a deli arcade thing. I still don't know the name of this place, but it was so cute. And I did not know it was there. And I've lived in Dayton pretty much my whole life. But I was very to myself. I don't know how to find different things. And he's really good with that. But it was just I had never been there. And so he told me the place to meet him at. And I go to the place. And I'm like, this dude is not showing up. And I'm like extra cute. I got this flannel situation happening. Flannel was big at the time. And I'm like, oh, he's about to mess up. Mess up. So I'm in this place. It's a bar. I go to this bar place, and I'm like, he said it was an arcade. And I saw a couple arcade games. I'm like, I guess that's it. So while I'm waiting, this rando asked me to play pool with him. And I'm like, okay, whatever. I don't know how to play, but he was like, you could tell it's one of those people who, that's their whole life. They just go to this particular bar and play pool and then talk crap and then leave and do it all over again the next day. So while I'm playing pool, I get a text message from him like, "Hey, where are you at?" I'm like, "I've been here. Where are you?" He's like, "I got here." Say we're supposed to meet at 6:30. We'll say that. "I got here at 6." I'm like, "I am at the pool table right now. Are you playing pool with me?" And there was nobody else in this bar beyond the people who worked there. He's like, "There's no pool table here." I'm like, "Oh my God, I'm in the wrong place." He's like, "I think you're next door." I'm like, "Oh crap. Let me lose this game of pool right quick, because I'm going to lose really quick." But the guy that I'm with doesn't seem like somebody who would just take, "Oh, I got to go for an answer," even though I told him I was waiting on a date. So let me lose right quick, and I promise you I'll be right over. And if you know me, you know I'm a very prompt person. So he might have got there at 6. I would have got there at 6:15. I'm never late. If I am late, it is by 5 minutes, and I'm apologizing to you to the utmost. If I am late, you need to call 911 because something happened. I'm that kind of person. So I get to the thing, and I'm like, I get out of the situation with the guy I was playing pool with, and I'm like apologizing it crazy because I already feel like you feel like I'm inconsiderate. You feel like I'm a flake. You feel like I don't really, even though I don't care, you feel like I don't care, and I don't want that to be the case. I want this to be a nice experience for you, because obviously you put yourself out there, and I don't ever want to be cruel to anybody or whatever. But I didn't, and it's not that I didn't care. It's just that I had no expectations. I had zero expectations. I was afraid at that moment to get my hopes up, because every time I thought something was going to happen real, it went left. Right? So I got there, and he's very nonchalant, and I'm like, oh, he doesn't like me. But he was very nonchalant. He was very cool. We sat down and we talked and we played some video games. And I'm not a gamer girl, but I like the old school Mortal Kombat games. Those make me happy. And old school Turtles games and stuff like that. the fighting games. That's my game. That's my judge, right? So we played a couple of those games, and I'm like, oh, I'm kind of digging him. And I'm like, but he probably is not feeling the same way because I've been here before. Ha ha. So, so, but we're talking and the conversation is flowing really nice. I realize he is quiet, but he talks. He's quiet. You could tell he's quiet, but if you ask him a question, he could talk. So, we go to eat, and then I knew I liked him. I knew I really, really liked him because I didn't want him to have a bad experience with me and not like me, and then on top of that have to pay for me. So I said, okay, I'll pay for my meal, you pay for your meal. It was just a deli, so it wasn't crazy anything, but I had a really good BLT there. So I paid for myself, and I'm like, oh, it doesn't offend you. I'm like, it doesn't offend you that I paid for myself. He's like, no, it's cool. I'm like, okay, cool. We flow, we talk or whatever, and we get ready to leave, and we both have the same thought. And okay, so my memory might be a little skewed because I have a trash memory, but this is how I recall it. Okay. So we both have the same thought of, yeah, I know we're leaving here, but I kind of don't want this to end. So we ended up walking around the Riverscape area to talk more, or whatever. And it was nice. It was nice. It was very nice. Uh, it was really nice. I haven't thought about our first date in a while. It was really nice. Um, I'm sorry, I'm giggly. I didn't mean to be giggly, but I'm giggly right now. Um, okay. So we wrap up the evening, and then even the fact we realize we park next to each other, and um, then he had a red car, and at the time I had a red car. I'm like, oh, we're matching, because I'm corny. I'm like, we're matching. And he's like, yeah, he immediately realized I was corny. So before we leave out, he's like, so I want to see you again. But, and in my head, I'm like, that but. And then he finished the sentence quite quickly, but my head went faster than he finished the sentence. And I was like, okay, we're never seeing each other again. He's in my head, he said, I want to see you again, but, and in my head, I was like, but he got a wife and 3 kids, but he gay, but he not looking for anything serious. Like, he works for the CIA. I literally had a guy tell me he works for the CIA. And he will have to disappear frequently. So that was very much a possibility. Insert curse word here. Because insert curse word here. So I was ready to be like, okay, well, I had a good time. It was nice meeting you. I'll see you when I see you. But then I let the sentence that he finished register in my head. It's like, but I would love to, I can't, but I have something to do tomorrow, but I would love to see you Tuesday. Go on a date on Sunday. He told me he had a reason why he was not available the next day, but his next available day, he was like, no, I want to see you. I'm like, okay. And then he messed up and introduced me to ramen. Not the top ramen that you get at the store for 56 cents, but ramen. That was the second date. And that's been my obsession ever since. And he regrets it. So we went to his ramen spot that was around the corner from his house. We had a really good time, and I had just watched Hunter x Hunter, and I'm not a bona fide nerd, but I was in my baby nerd phase, and I was just getting the anime. And Hunter x Hunter was peak TV, right? So we go to this ramen restaurant, and they're playing Hunter x Hunter on the TV. And I'm like, oh, what do you think about Killua? And I know all the people's names. And I'm like, oh, he is pointless, blah, 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 blah. Like, I was going in. And he just in there. And I'm like, I am talking too much. In my head, I'm like, I'm talking too much, but I can't stop because I kind of like this guy and I don't want it to end. And I know if I shut up, he's going to be like, okay, it's time to go. We're never going to see each other again. So we leave and he's like, okay, well, I don't want the night to end. I'm like, me either. And I'm like, what else is there to do around? He's like, my house is around the corner. I'm like, mind you, at this point, I've been celibate for like 5 years. I've been hardcore celibate. I've gone through the celibate enthusiastic stage, the celibate angry phase. I've gone through the celibate this is my life stage, gone through the celibate. I'm just going to be a nun. Even though I'm not Catholic, it is what it is. This is who I am. I'm celibate and I'm very much not just going to throw that away because 2 cute dates, right? So I'm like, all right. Well, after a little bit of back and forth, I'm like, I'll go, but no, we ain't doing nothing. And if you think we're going to do something, I got something for your butt. I see how I didn't cuss there. So, but he's like, I'm not going to try anything, I promise you. I just want to hang out more. And I think we went to his house and watched House on Haunted Hill or something like that. I don't know. We started a show. And I accidentally moved in after that. That was abrupt, right? Very much abrupt. Like, from then on, my days consisted of going to my house, getting a change of clothes, which then changing my clothes, which then matured to me getting a change of clothes to have in my car, going to work because at the time I was having to go in office, and then after work going straight to his house until like sometime between midnight. No, going to his house and spending the night at his house, not humping, not doing any of the nasty stuff, just literally snuggling, watching TV and talking. And then in the morning, going back to my house, doing it all over again. It was to the point where people were telling me I lived with him, and I'm like, no, I don't live there. I live here, and stop saying I live there because I don't. I don't fool up with Tyler Perry, but I stole one of his sayings, like, I don't get my mail there, so I don't live there. Right? But then my job at the time was switching me to work from home. And this is before COVID. So this is me just moving to work from home versus working in office. And I'm like, I wonder if he'll be offended if I ask if I can work from home from his house, because it'll be more convenient. Because my house, I was staying with my sister and it was crowded. Like, I had literally just moved in with my sister right when I want to say like 2 weeks before, right when I met him. And then I sort of moved in with him accidentally. I swear to God, I didn't know I was living with him. I didn't. So he said, yeah, just get your computer and stuff. And I work from home sometimes, and he worked up the street literally. So get your computer stuff and you can just have a setup in my office and that's it. I'm like, okay, cool. So I want to say COVID hit around February. So let's say January of 2020. I think February, March, but January of 2020. I finally go to stuff and like, because I'm trying to prove a point to both my best friends, my sister, both my sisters, both my best friends, my mama, and my church that I don't live with this man. Okay? I am proving a point because I'm hard-headed and I'm going to be right. I'm like, Stefan, let's be real. Do I live with you? He's like, yeah. I'm like, wait, what? Like, what? like, yeah, you live here. I'm like, oh, I didn't know that. I really didn't know. And when he said it, it was it's like how I can argue with someone who's not in a relationship, but I can't argue with the person I'm in a relationship with because he knows better than other people. So and I guess because we were building meals around each other, like, okay, you cook this week, I cook that week, and so that's how me and Stefan got together. And that's how I moved in by accident. It was very it's still funny to me. It's funny to me. Stefan is obviously I love the man because otherwise I would not still be here. Not that he's done so much dirt that why would I be here? No, it's just I'm a very cut and dry kind of person who if I have a high tolerance for BS, but I have my lines that I won't cross. And if he wasn't the guy he is, I would have been gone 1,000 times before. Again, not because he's done something to trigger me. The fact we don't argue, we don't fight. Like we have disagreements, and generally, if we have a disagreement, one of us will be like, "Yeah, this is not how we do it. We need to come together, figure this out." And then, we don't argue, um, which is really great because I don't do well with arguing when I like you. Like I can argue you down if I have no respect for you at all. Um, but I don't do well with arguing if I want to hold on to you. Let's word it that way. If I want to hold on to you, I don't do well with arguing. Um, so I don't know. When I used to pray for a spouse, I did not give sincere prayers about them because I was afraid to ask for what I wanted because I didn't think it was possible. You know, people say God knows your heart. Everything that I was afraid to say was sitting in my heart, and that's what he is. He is the prayer I was afraid to pray. I I love that man down. I would fight wars for that man because I know he would do the same thing for me. And it's crazy because he's so quiet, and I am obviously not quiet at all. Um, he is so quiet, and he is so strong, and we are. I've I did not know prior to him that it was possible to trust a man to actually lead me. I grew up in a family with mainly females. I had a brother and a father, parents married, but it was the women who always took charge. My mom, if there was a problem within the family, we go to my mom because my mom would be able to find the solution out of nowhere. And I realize now that is not a brag. Like, my mom had to be a strong, independent woman while in a whole marriage. And that's not a slam on anybody. It's just, I just thought that was how marriage was supposed to go. I thought it was me putting up with and fixing what you're doing. That is that is not it. That's not the move. And I am grateful for God. I am grateful to God for hearing the prayer in my heart versus the prayer on my lips, because the prayer on my lips was every single one of those dudes who I refused to date. And mind you, I was perpetually single for a very long time. It's not because I didn't have offers. Not because I didn't have offers. I had many offers. But I was praying to God for someone who I did not want. And that's the bananas thing. Like I wholeheartedly was praying for what I thought I deserved, because that was my expectations in life, because no good things really ever happened for me. So I didn't think I would be. I love this man down. I've never met someone who made me feel so safe in being me. The awkward, weird, spastic sometimes version of myself, who is loud and obnoxious, kind of rude sometimes without realizing it, but I have a heart of freaking gold and I mean no harm to any person. I never met someone who I thought would just love me for me. And I am so grateful. And I don't ever want to know life again without him. That is my love story. Um, we are getting married this year. And again, I'm very excited about it. He designed my ring, you guys. You see it? He designed this. I don't like diamonds, and I'm so I am so grateful. Um, I you ever feel like you're talking and nobody's listening? I would say stuff in passing, and the thing about the diamonds, I feel like I don't remember ever sitting there and talking to him about it. But I don't like diamonds. And he somehow knew that. And the ring has little leaves on it, because I hate nature, but I love nature. I think nature is beautiful, but I'm not meant to be in nature. I'm meant to be in air conditioner. Um, so it has little leaves on it, and green is one of my favorite colors, and it's actually a green sapphire, you guys. I did not know they had green sapphires, but I got all the paperwork and stuff with it, so it's legit. But it's green sapphire. Um, it, every time I look at my ring, my heart just smiles. It just I'm excited to become Mrs. Insert his last name, because I don't know if I'm allowed to share full information yet. I don't know how this works yet, but I'm excited to become a Mrs. Um, I'm excited to go through life with him, hand in hand through the ups and downs. I I pray to God that I am as much of a blessing in his life as he is in mine. And I'm grateful that I still want to do for him. Like, I still want to do the things for him all the time. I just want, I don't know. All right, I'm rambling now and I'm gushing now. So I gotta go cook dinner. But I hope you guys enjoyed this story time. And it was definitely a rave versus a rant, because I ain't got nothing negative to say about my man. And when I say to him, he is fine to me. He don't gotta be fine to nobody else. But to me, that man, he does it for me. He just looking at him, I'm just like, ugh, Jesus. You can't tell me God ain't real when he made that. That's proof perfect. Proof perfect. He made that for me. Hello, hello. Oh, I felt that in my shana no 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 no. So he don't gotta be finding nobody else. And I don't say that. I feel like people say that a lot of time when they know they man ugly. But my man is nowhere near ugly. My man is fine. And he has beautiful African features. He ain't from Africa. He ain't African, but he got African. He got the African nose that I like and African lips. Okay, okay. I'm done. Uh, please like, subscribe, and comment, and share. Please share if you care, and comment if you have your own love story. Share your love story with me. I love love. So I want to hear all of it. I want to hear the nitty, the gritty, the good, the bad, the ugly, and hopefully the redemption of it all. The redemption arcs. I want to hear it all. I want to hear about the years of what's happening here. Like, why is every male broken or every female broken? I want to hear that. I want to know. And I'm a talker, so if you talk to me, I'm gonna talk right back. Know that. So like, comment, share, and subscribe. I hope to do another video fairly soon for you guys. But I appreciate you checking out my page, and I hope you love this story as much as I love telling it. You guys have a good one.